Something came up.
There it goes.
Okay, a few more steps really quick. Sorry about that.
So since we've officially passed 6 o'clock, I think we'll go ahead and call to order the meeting of the Lacey Historical Commission. So the first thing we want to do is make sure that we do a quick check to make sure we've got everybody here. So we'll just have everybody, I'll just go down the list of our members and you can all just say aye when we get to those. And you're here, I can visually see that we have that. So at home, aye. Myself, Jim Keough, Alan. Here. Kevin. Aye. Kimberly.
Aye.
John. Present. Talai.
Aye.
And Rory.
Here, oh, aye.
I hear.
Same.
Okay, so we have actually a full quorum for tonight. Everybody is here. Ed, I'm gonna ask you to read the land acknowledgement to start the meeting.
Thank you very much. The Lacey's Historical Commission meets on the ancestral land of the tribal people of the Treaty of the Medicine Creek, including the Nisqually Indian tribe and the Squaxin Island tribe. We acknowledge and remember that those tribal people not recognized today who were absorbed or relocated onto other tribes for survival. We recognize the ancestors and their descendants who are still here. We recognize and respect the tribal people of the Treaty of Medicine Creek as the traditional stewards of this land since time immemorial, and their role today in taking care of these lands in perpetuity. We recognize and have the responsibility to call attention to the histories of the disposition, forced removal, and abridged treaty rights that allowed our nation, state, and city to develop as they have today. We recommend that community members read the Medicine Creek Treaty of 1854.
Thank you, Ed. With that, we'll move on to approval of the agenda and minutes. So the first question is if anybody has any additions they want to make to the agenda. Hearing none, I am open to a motion to approve the agenda for tonight.
I'll motion to approve the agenda.
Okay, Kevin and Alan is the second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, I think we move forward. The next item is approval of our meeting minutes from March 20th. Does anybody have any suggestions for changes or amendments to those? Hearing none, I will take a motion for approval of those minutes.
I will move approval of the minutes.
John?
March 20th.
Thank you. And a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Kevin seconds. All in favor of approving the minutes from March 20th, please say aye.
Aye.
Anybody not approve or against, have a negative vote on that? I don't hear one, so I think we've got those approved. And that takes us to the public comment section. Do we have anybody who's signed in to make comment tonight?
No, we did not have anyone sign in and, well, I don't know, did we have a sign-in sheet?
Yes.
I know we're here.
I meant online. Did anybody, let's see, everybody says no, so no.
Okay. So that means we move on to the first business item, the Lacey Depot Food Truck and Market. And Wesley is coming to the table to report on that. Thank you.
Or some road.
I'm gonna give you the mouse thing too. I had this up just a second ago. There it is. Let's do.
Right. Well, thank you very much for Jen for inviting me here, and thank you all. So good evening, Chair and Commissioners. My name is Wesley Nguyen. I'm staff at the city. And today we're gonna talk a little about the market pop-up or the pop-up market at the depot. Market event is an effort to continue supporting making Lacey a vibrant place to live, work, play, and create a diverse economy. And also to enable entrepreneurs to have experience or to experience their products and services. So before I get into the market itself, I just want to give a little bit of background. The City of Lacey did the Depot District Sub-Area Plan in 2018 to develop a vision for the community. And the vision includes the city taking on the lead on introducing civic and cultural use of the city-owned site that will be the future museum. As for the retail recommendation, the plan called for food and entertainment-based offering. To jumpstart this food and entertainment retail, the city started working on the food truck plaza as one is the opportunity identifying the plan. So we piloted the food truck project in 2021 for a lunch only due to the site limitation. We learned and added a few items like electricities and shade to the seating area. These add-ons allow vendors to be there all day. As we continue to make improvement on these sites, on the site, and it is still a temporary site, we have a limitation. In 2024, we have 6 food trucks at the depot selling a variety of different food options. So, as one of the two to creating a vibrant depot district, the community, the city piloted the pop-up market to complement the food trucks. In 2022, we organized one market a month and saw that at the end of the COVID restriction, people wanted to be outside, talking, engaging with other people and other folks. And we see that at the events that were organized monthly. In year 2 of last year, we contracted a local event companies to recruit vendors and organize these events. Last year, we organized 14 events total, basically every other week, the first Friday and the third Sunday. And the data, I just wanted to share some data with you. Oh, you do. So last year we had about, like I mentioned, we had 14 events. We had people coming in from Pierce, Lewis, Thurston County, both visitors and vendors. The event averaged about 30 vendors per event. Some of the events, they have 23 vendors. Other more highly successful, like theme event, like the fall theme event. During the Halloween, we had like 55 vendors. As far as visitors, we have average about 500 to 600, 700 visitors per event. And then again, at the high event, we had about 1,200 people showing up. As far as marketing and promotion, We use social media, both the city webpage and Facebooks. We are, the vendor also use her network. And together with these two organizations, we had about 10,000 followers that learn about these events that happen every other weeks, basically. We also have banners that went across College Avenue, and we also did other banners. We had articles that was in Thurston Talk to promote these events, and yeah. So this is one of the food truck vendors that was at the depot, and this is one of her quote. You can read that as I share that. Maggie is first-time entrepreneur. She's Filipino military spouse. During these events, she was able to talk to people and were able to secure several catering event and parties from the visitors that came through the markets. And as for 2024, earlier this year, we went out for a request for proposal, RFP, in February, and we advertised it in local newspaper as well as on our city websites, as well as sending emails to the MRSC small work rosters to about 30 other vendors, and we received 4 proposals. So with the proposal, we internally we form a cross-department interview teams, and we interviewed 3 top candidates, and we selected. Confused with the computer there. We selected this company, Sway Night Market LLC, to be this year vendor, recruiters, and event organizer. So Sway is a small company starting in Lacey. Their proposal was very innovative, and it was not just business as usual. They provide good suggestions and recommendation. They have a lot of experience. They manage the Only at Night at the Ricardo every month that they have there last year as well as this year. They also work with Olympia Farmers Market, and they also engage with Downtown Olympia Alliance. So they have been doing a lot of work in our communities. Lastly, their budget for the event was within range of what was allocated for this project. So the picture to the right is Jason. Jason is the owner of the company with his wife. He's a Marine Corps veteran. So this is a few pictures of their events. The one on your right is the Tumwater Craft District event. The one to the left is the Ricardo event, and the one bottom with the musician is at the Downtown Olympia Alliance event that draw, I believe, like over 13,000 folks to the events. So they know how to put together really big and as well as small events. So for the depot in 2024, our first event will be Friday, April 26th at 4 p.m. So it's gonna be every other Friday evening, 4 to 8 or 4 to 6, depending on the time of the year. In the midsummer months, it will be from 4 to 9. And then April, May, October, November, September, it will be 4 to 8. Our goal is to have about 25 vendors out there, as well as the 6 regular food trucks out there. We're planning to have over 30 vendors for visitors to shop and eat and to try a variety of different things that I have there. Sway is planning to schedule some live entertainment and have games as well. So expecting for an evening of family fun engagement for the whole family. Any questions about that? I'd love to invite you all to come out that evening and help us launch the event on April 26th.
Could you give us an idea of the types of groups that typically, it sounds like you have different groups that sponsor different events. Am I hearing that correctly?
No, there's the city is the presenter of the event.
Okay,
So we contract Sway to organize and put the actual vendors together. And then they'll set up the event on event day and do all that for us.
so are these based on a thematic basis? What essentially, what's the marketing method or theme or idea that gets people there?
Well, first they register as a vendor through Sway, and then Sway will select the vendors based on making sure, A, they have all the criteria to be an operating business. And then B, there's no any particular theme. They're mostly gonna be small business vendors selling artisan craft or food or things that they start as a small enterprise.
Okay.
So
Okay.
not like McDonald's open up a,
Right,
but small business that are, as an economic developer, I'm trying to help small business grow. So providing this avenue of for them to test their market, for them to engage with community and to figure out what it is that they can do to better improve their business or their product and services.
Okay.
As well as making more money.
okay.
If I didn't come here, how would I know about this?
We market it on the CD website. If you go to the CD website, there's an event page and all of the events are there.
So I look under Lacey's
Events,
events. I just
yes,
type in Lacey events, right?
yes. Yes. And we also do, the City of Lacey also have a Facebook page and we also post on that page as well. Sway also do a lot of promotion on their end. They have an Instagram. So they do a lot of Instagram posting about different vendors that'll be at the events as well.
Put an article on Jolt.
There will be an article, I don't know if there's an article in Joke, but there's an article now in Thurston Talk about the event that they just put out last week.
So this is the first time we've had a promoter operating this?
No, this is a second year with the first time with this promoter.
Thank you.
So just as you know, the location where we at is a temporary location because that's basically a parking lot for the future museum. And then most of the vendor will be on the side where the museum is gonna be. And so as we think about the future plan for this sort of project, we have a little parcel to the east of that, right there at the triangular intersection between Pacific and Lacey. So we're looking, that is owned by the city, and we're planning to go out and do a feasibility study on that parcel to see if it's possible to do a permanent location for not only the food truck, but also for the market. And then we'll look at other properties in the city to see what's available and if it's within range for us to think about purchasing. And then the last thing is, these are the two, the food trucks and the market are just two of many other services that the city love to provide for entrepreneurs and small business. And so we're always looking for opportunity to find solutions to remove barriers to help entrepreneurs and small business be successful. So whether it be a commercial kitchen in the future or whether it be some sort of other type of facility like the Lacey Makerspace where an entrepreneur creates something out of the kitchen, out of their garage, but now they're moving it to a bigger place like the Lacey Makerspace so they could make it, prototype it, and then bring it to market. So we're helping them, these entrepreneurs become business owners. So I think that's pretty much it for my presentation. Any other questions?
I'll just tell you, so my name's Kendra, I'm here for a different reason, but we attend those events. We found out about them when we moved to Lacey, and with our utility bill, we get a newsletter from the
The
city
Lacey
that
Life.
says community events. We love Maggie's. And they usually have music at the venue.
Mhm.
So it's right there in the center. We can go there in the evening or on Sundays. It's like a farmer's market with music and good food.
Yes.
Yeah. But you
Thank
get it
you.
in that newsletter.
Testimonial right there.
Well, thank you. I did not plan that.
Any other questions?
Just if I Google Sway, I will find out Jason's last name.
Jason Huang, Huang.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Go for it.
Is regis- Hi, so is registration closed for this event, or is the vendor registration closed for this event?
No, it's still available. And again, we're planning to have about 14 events, so they're always gonna be looking for vendors. And right now, the space over there is can accommodate a lot of vendors, so they're always looking for vendors.
Thank you.
Other questions?
Are you gonna continue the Friday night, Sunday afternoon?
No, so we transition to every Friday night,
Well, every Friday.
every other Friday, sorry.
First Friday or third Friday or?
Depend on the month, some months will have longer. So it's just every other Friday, starting the 26th.
Okay.
So I'm not very good with roads and that kind of stuff, but I just looked up the normal vendors that are usually in that area. And is this the place that's right by the McConies? Is that
Yes,
the, okay.
yes, it's right there where the replica depot is at. It's right that area. right
Across from
there.
your
Yeah,
post
that's where
office.
the future museum's gonna go into.
That's what I thought, thank
Yeah,
you.
it's a gravel lot right now.
Very good, well done.
Any
Thank
other
you.
ques- Any other questions? Very good. Thank you very much for the report. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Interesting and adds further to our knowledge of what's going on there.
Well, you will again come by on the 26th and join us for some live music and fun and food.
Thank you.
And tax revenue for the city.
That's right. They all have to
Spoken
be,
like a
all have to
true
have a
passionate
business
council
license. Yeah.
Thank you.
Moving on, we have our next decision of the night. I know Aaron's been collecting nominations for the Ken Bulsley Historian of the Year nomination, and so I think you're up.
Yeah, we have 2 nominations. They were in your packet. Do you want me to go over them one by one, or do you want to just hopefully have looked at them and have conversation about them?
I'm not sure I have the two people.
Huh?
I don't think I had both people. Something didn't open up right when I was looking, so. I know I have Paul Webb, but I don't know who the other one is.
I just want to make sure I have the packet open.
The other.
I have multiples of Paul Webb.
There's 3 Paul
This
Webbs.
one.
No, then I guess,
So the Historical Society is the other.
Oh.
yeah, the Lacey
this
Historical
is-
Society.
Oh, the society itself?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I thought that was a typo.
It's not a typo.
That's good.
I know, I did too. I'm like, oh my gosh, what did we do wrong? Okay. So we got 2 nominations for Paul Webb, and then we have 1, or I take it back, is it 2 or 3?
Three.
Probably counted 3.
3 for Paul Webb, and then 1 for the Lacey Historical Society. Oh, my attachment didn't make it into. Well,
Aaron, do you want to tell us about what was on your attachment?
sure, I'll be glad to. Myself here.
We were nominated by somebody named Aaron.
I know,
Oh, okay.
right? I had an idea.
We had our plan. We wanted to know who that other person was.
I know, I got a flood. Okay, sorry, give me a sec. 2024 is the year, okay. Oh, where is it?
See, disappearing nomination.
There it is. Okay. I think that was my fault. All right, so I'll just read it to you. The Lacey Historical Society was founded in 1980 for the promotion, collection, preservation, and interpretation of Lacey, Washington and environs, and for the Lacey Museum. There has not been another organization that has contributed more to the preservation and promotion of Lacey's history than this society has over the last 40+ years. Twice in its history, the society came near to disbanding, but thanks to a new crop of people enthusiastic about Lacey history, it continues on. The Lacey Historical Society has been instrumental in the preservation of historical buildings, archival records, artifacts, and photographs, conducting important historical research, and ensuring that the history of Lacey and Lacey people are honored in public settings. A selection of these contributions follow. The Society arranged for memorial plantings at the Lacey Museum to honor people of Lacey's past, and for many years held planting dedication ceremonies. They built the bench and marker at the museum site as a reflective location for visitors, which is known as the Remembrance Place. When the Lacey Grade School building was to be demolished to make way for a grocery store, the Society was instrumental in ensuring that the school continued to be honored. They worked with the school district and the city of Lacey to salvage artifacts from the school site, including a portion of the gym floor, which is on display at the administration building for the school district, some of which were donated to the Lacey Museum. And they advocated for the developers to honor the school, which resulted in architecture that resembles the 1913 school and a memorial of the Lacey School on the west side of the store. The Society used its annual meeting as a way to build relationships with the community, hosting Lacey School reunions and inviting participants to share their memories of Lacey. They encouraged the donation and preservation of hundreds of school class photos and were able to identify a great number of students and teachers through research and community input. These photographs and identifications are preserved in the Lacey Museum. The Society was instrumental in the preservation of several buildings which would have been torn down otherwise. They advocated for some, like the Jacob Smith House, and for others, they took over ownership and had them moved to a safe location. The Gallagher House, which was located on Pacific Avenue and would have been torn down, now sits next to the Lacey Museum and is an example of this. Over the years, the Society has participated in numerous events to promote Lacey, including the Thurston County Birthday Party, Thurston County Through the Decades, Thurston Throwback, Lacey Spring Fun Fair, and Lacey's 50th anniversary celebration. Lastly, and certainly not least, the Society has facilitated the donation of numerous photographs, artifacts, and records, including the donation of their own historical archives, and up into, including this last week, they just brought me another something. The Lacey Museum is indebted to the Society for the work it has done throughout its existence, and we hope that it will continue long into the future to promote and preserve the history of Lacey.
So with 2 nominations in hand, our options are to vote for one, both.
Your options are to vote for one, both, or neither. Those are
Okay.
your options.
Okay.
The policy says that that it is discouraged to have 2 in 1 year. It doesn't say you can't.
Okay. And it seems with 2 of them, we shouldn't really go for neither.
Probably not,
Probably not.
but you wanted to know your options.
Well, that's why I'm asking. So with that, I'm gonna open it up for discussion for the members. What you think? John?
I vote for Paul Webb. It's the 75th anniversary of the fire department and he wrote the history.
Nominate him.
And so, and we nominated him. Would be my preference.
Okay,
It's kind of a unique situation that we have, one of the nominees nominated the other
Yes.
nominee. But I think 3 nominations versus 1, I mean, I think that definitely speaks to something and
other comments from members of the committee for that, and then we'll take anything from public, so. Alan, Ed, Kimberly, Talai,
Can we take all 3? We just have to have one.
No, there's only 2.
I have 2 basically,
So what we're voting on is which one to take out.
We haven't had a motion yet.
No, we haven't got a motion, we're discussing.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
No, there's no motion on the floor right now. Any other comments? We had a couple people out here in our attendees that were interested in coming, but I want to make sure we collect over here first. So Kimberly?
Yeah, I think my inclination, just as a general rule, would be to favor recognizing individuals as opposed to organizations. I don't necessarily hate the concept of recognizing an organization as historian of the year, but I think the intent really is to recognize individuals. So I think my preference is going to lean more in that direction.
Okay.
I do hear you, although the policy does say individuals
It
or
does.
organizations.
Right.
That's true.
To be
Yes.
clear.
actually, I think that kind of speaks to a good point of that, you know, if there were no other nominations for a person, you know, a individual, then that would definitely give a lot more
Mhm.
merit towards an organization, you know, just as an option. But I think that we have a number of recommendations for
And
a
in-
specific.
Okay,
And a letter from the chief.
right.
Yeah.
Does the commission want to read into the record anything about the other nomination?
Do you guys want,
I will nominate John to do that.
Well, as I indicated previously, Paul Webb has been a resident since birth, basically. Not at the current moment, but as was indicated, he's written a definitive book in the history of the Lacey Fire Department called The First Decade. And it's a lot more than just about fire trucks. It's about a lot of the families that built the city, even before it was a formal city in 1966. And I don't know if you all got a chance to read it. Margie Wiley submitted a really nice application, and I believe that several members of our Lacey Historical Society endorsed that. And then just to make sure, Nancy Miller submitted one as well, and her family, the Cunningham family, is talked about in this in a major way in this book. And then also John Turner, who was one of the early Lacey fire volunteers, subsequently later was in law enforcement. He also endorsed Paul. And then it's hard to beat the fire chief, Steve Brooks, who on behalf of not only the firefighters at Lacey, but also the commissioners, the fire commissioners, the elected fire commissioners, also offered a heartfelt endorsement of Paul Webb for the Ken Bosley Historian of the Year. So in my opinion, that's overwhelming. And I would make a motion that we select Paul Webb as the Ken Bosley Historian of the Year.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, so I think at this point, we have discussion and any comments on whether to go forward with that, and then we'll have to take a vote. So looking around, see if there's any comments on that motion. Hearing none, let's go with all in favor. Please say aye.
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 Sounds like I've heard from everybody. Any no's? Hearing none, I think that we have decided that Paul Webb will be our person and nominee for the historian. I'm assuming he will hopefully be available at the presentation that we'll be having here in May.
Absolutely.
Which we'll be
We
talking about
will
later.
make sure that he's there or we'll reschedule it.
Okay, okay. Oh,
Carter
yeah.
and I will.
Yeah, please make sure that's May 7th for those of you who know him, just to make sure he hears the word as quick as possible.
Oh, I will send him a letter.
Well, we could do that too, but I figure word of mouth isn't bad.
Congratulations, nomination.
Yes.
Well done.
With that, Aaron, we're moving on to the Selma Street request.
Yeah, I enclosed in your packet my letter to the Historical Society regarding the Selma Street request. And earlier today, we also forwarded to all of you correspondence that followed the letter between me and John Jacek about it. We had some follow-up questions. But in summary, so the request to add a tree to the historic register will have to be presented by the society to the Community and Economic Development Department, and we gave them information on what they needed to provide. And then the request for a memorial roadway or a historic street sign does not meet the policy intention to honor street names that have been changed because this name is the same. So
And it's the street at this point is still
Selma.
Selma and still functional.
Yeah.
Okay. I drove by there today just to kind of double
Just to-
check that.
yeah.
So.
But I'm happy to, answer any questions or.
So the actual, it's the Commerce and Economic Development Committee that.
The Community and Economic
Community
Development Department, yeah,
Department that actually handles the historic tree designation.
right.
Okay, the good news, since my wife is in the Master Gardeners Program, we were looking at the tree itself and if designated, it lasts a long time.
Oh, that's cool.
It
It'd be
lasts
great
like
to have a
200 to
tree on a
250
register.
years in a typical lifespan. So as long as somebody doesn't do something like rot out its roots, it should last a long time. So any questions on that report? John?
Well, I know that at the meeting, Aaron, you were not here, but
Although I watched it.
Jennifer Burbidge said to us, I remember it, she took the packet, which we had a lot of work on by John. And she said she would get it to the right people. So did we destroy the packet or can it still be given to the Economic and Development?
I didn't get a physical, well, I got the request letter, but I don't think I got a packet of stuff.
Well, we had pictures, we had
Jenny took-
citations, you
Jenny
know.
took pictures of the
Kevin,
stuff, but I
Kevin
didn't
remembers and
get
so
a,
does Alan.
not a physical packet.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
So if you can't find it, we'll reproduce it, but it was a lot of work and turned in, so.
I'm sure that Jen didn't get rid of anything.
No.
I just have to figure out where it got put.
Yeah, you were off
Yeah, she's
one
got a
time and
Yeah, I
then,
wasn't there,
Yeah,
so.
and then she wasn't there the next time. So we didn't know that it hadn't been transmitted to the proper people.
Gotcha.
So, all right, thank you. If you look into that, it'd be great. And I know you'll let us know if we need to reproduce it.
Yeah, I will. I didn't realize that we were handed a whole packet of materials.
Yep, thank you.
Okay, any other comments or conversation in that regard? We have a,
Cheryl Malcolm, and yes, there was a packet that was given to Jennifer.
Given to Jen? Okay,
And I now have another packet that is going to Vanessa Dolby,
Oh,
Oh.
Community and Economic Development
Yep.
Department for the tree.
okay, great. So I do need to track that down.
well,
still?
is it the same? Everything's the same?
No, this
No,
is about the tree.
No, it's about the tree, right?
Yes, it's the tree, not the street, but just.
Understood.
just the tree.
Everything that you turned into Jen prior about the tree is in that.
Most of it, yes.
Okay, so can we give it to you and have you give it to the person?
I was going to bring it over and give it to Vanessa tomorrow. I'm assuming she'll be here tomorrow.
I have no idea. I
But
don't know her schedule.
They
but-
can hand it to her. You don't
I
have to
mean, I
drive
can
over.
put it in her mailbox,
Yeah.
but if
that'll
you
work.
wanna talk to her, you know, she
Yeah,
might be.
okay.
I just wanted to be sure and get to hers.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm sure she's got a copy of it. I'll be amazed if she doesn't.
So then the update on the historic preservation consultant.
Yeah, so we've talked about this before, but the request for an estimate has actually been put out into the world. We are asking for historic property inventory forms updated for the Jacob Smith House, for the McKinney Building and the Long Lake House. The Jacob Smith House, in addition, we're asking for them to complete the local register nomination so we can rectify that situation. So I've gotten 5 estimates with very, very wide range of costs. And so it appears that on just a quick glance that they're offering very different levels of service. So I need to do a deeper look at the proposals and make sure that I understand what it is that I'm choosing for the money. So they're all within the amount of money that we have to use. But I want to select the right person. But I just wanted you guys to know that work was proceeding and Jenny is working on the wetland delineation. I don't know if the RFP has gone out yet, but I don't think so. Has it? No. Oh, you don't know? Okay.
So 5 consultants you're considering.
I assume then we'll hear back from you more next month, huh?
Yeah, hopefully by then I will have decided on someone
Okay,
and we will start work. That'll be great.
great. I think our next decision item comes up next, which is Robert Chamberlain artwork.
Yeah, I'm handling this
Okay.
proposed acquisition a little bit differently than I normally would. Normally, you're reviewing my recommendations, which, you know, I make a decision and then you guys say, yay, great job, or, oh, wait, let me ask you some more about that. But when there is something that's got ethical issues or political ramifications or what have you, then those I usually bring to you as its own item. In this case, because the donor has given the items to me personally, it felt weird to me to just do that. I have done that before for less value items like a book or something, but since this is artwork that's a little more valuable, I felt it was more appropriate for you guys to make this decision. So I'm going to share the screen again so that scroll past all these accolades about Paul Webb. Okay, so Robert Chamberlain was a local artist who has recently passed away, and his son David and I were in talks about us purchasing these artworks. And it just, for a variety of reasons, didn't happen. I wanted to honor the amount of money that I felt they were worth, but we don't have a very big budget and we don't have a big call for purchasing things, so it just I kept trying to find a time when it was gonna work for us and it didn't. And I think we waited too long. And so now David is offering them to me to do with as I want. As an ethical issue, it is my responsibility to offer them to the museum for the collection. And I wouldn't do anything else anyway. But that's it. That's what they look like. They're at the depot, and I think they're lovely, and the donation comes with the copyright and all of that. So yeah,
What are the dimensions?
they're about this big. I haven't measured them exactly.
They're very nice.
Can you tell me what things won't have political problems if they're given to you or given to somebody else or given to him?
Oh, there's
I
plenty
mean,
of things that
I
won't
think
have-
there are a lot of, everything that goes in front of you, and you accept it or don't accept it as a political act.
Oh, potentially,
Not
sure.
potentially, it is a political
Okay,
act.
fine.
And you should carry it as a political act, not as a act that you want or don't want. I've noticed that as we go through, it isn't one of those things, it's a political thing.
What I
And you-
mean
and you
is
need to
that,
get something done, not on this man, I mean, this is fine, I'm not talking about this, but you should have a regular way that you handle these things.
I do,
Well, then we should just go to that and do it.
but I'm doing this differently because I have an ethical obligation to step aside and let you guys make the decision. So that's what I'm doing.
Because this was given to you
Because this was
personally.
given to me personally, not to the museum.
Right.
So,
What do you personally want to do? What do you personally want to do?
I personally would like to give them to the museum.
Do you need a motion?
Yes.
Certainly do.
I'll move that we accept the donation of these watercolor paintings by David Chamberlain,
By Robert Chamberlain.
by Robert Chamberlain, to the Lacey Museum.
I would second.
Second,
Any discussion?
You got to.
Well, I know I got the 2 seconds. I was looking to see if there's any discussion or questions. If not, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, we've approved that donation to the museum.
And thank you for your generosity.
Yes,
You're fine.
Thank you.
and with that, I think we move on to reports. And the Lacey Historic Society, I believe, is well represented here tonight, so.
Yes, thank you.
This is Kendra.
So I'm Kendra and I'm the current treasurer for the Lacey Historical Society. And we are ecstatic. April has been a very busy month for us, as you probably already figured. Most of us on the Historical Society are involved in a whole lot of other things in the community. So some of the things that have happened this month is on the 2nd of April, a number of us on the board, we attended the 75th anniversary of the fire department here in Lacey. And of course, Paul is a former trustee and we nominated him, so we're super excited for him to receive that award. And then last night at the city council meeting, our vice president is Lacey's poet laureate from 2002, Cynthia Pratt. And so she had a poem that she gave to the city. And so we're very proud of that. And if you're not busy on Saturday, our president, John, is involved with an event for the Sons of Norway. So we all are involved in a lot of different types of things. And then we have reserved the community center here in Lacey for June 6th for a special meeting with our members. And so we'll be having another newsletter come out that announces a speaker for that and different things going on that. So we have a lot going on, a lot on our plate. It's a lot of fun. It's been kind of exciting for my husband who gave the presentation last month, and I, as being the newest members with the moving into Lacey a couple years ago. It's been a learning experience and a lot of fun, and we've certainly enjoyed a lot of the activities and a lot of things that we've learned through the Historical Society about Lacey.
Where's your member meeting occurring?
It is going to be at the community, our member meetings are in the firehouse, but the special meeting on the 6th is going to be at the Lacey Community Center.
Okay.
Yeah, because we're inviting all of our membership to come in, and we've got some business decisions that we need made, but we're gonna, I don't wanna say the guest speaker, I don't know if they've confirmed.
I haven't heard it is confirmed, but we're gonna have an illustrious, very important person who was,
Yeah, somebody that knows history of Lacey.
yep, right there at the beginning. And a lot of photos we'll have displayed. So
Yes, yeah,
people will be reminiscing about the beginnings of the city.
yeah. So we're very excited. I feel like I'm a personal one person, two person with Monty ad campaign for the Lacey Parks and Rec. We just love all the activities and we're so looking forward to this summer and the events that are in the park. We attended a lot of those last year and they're a lot of fun. Everything
good.
from dogs training to kids doing acrobats and a lot of things like that. Yeah. Anyway, thank you.
Nice report. Kendra Hensley. For the record.
Kimberly, I think you're up next. For Policy Steps Committee.
For Policy Steps Committee is on hiatus still.
Okay. While we've got you up, might as well have you start with your report. We're gonna be doing the commissioners' reports.
And I have nothing to report. Thank you.
Okay, Talai, might as well have you do next.
I have nothing to report, thank you.
Okay, so I'll work my way around the table. Ed?
I have nothing.
Okay, Kevin?
I have nothing to report.
Okay, Alan?
It's an amazing day out there today. Everybody should avoid it.
Rory?
I have nothing to report.
Okay, and John?
Well, I've got something to report. It's more of an information thing there. I don't know, Ed, can you reach that? Oops, whoa, great catch, one for Kevin. And then this is for you, and I don't know if I can get that over to maybe there. 40 years ago, a wonderful event happened. And it was the inaugural US Women's Olympic Marathon Trials. And they were held here in 1984. And part of the path of the marathon runners included running through Lacey and also Tumwater. And there's quite an event coming up in May, the 16th through the 19th. Over 60 runners from the 1984 trials will travel to Olympia and be here to commemorate the historic race, including the first Olympic women's marathon gold medalist, US runner, Joan Bonnet.
Okay, that's amazing.
Samuelson's her married name. There'll be 3 public events commemorating this race, organized by the Olympia Trials Legacy Committee. On Friday the 17th, there is a reception dinner at the Indian Summer Country Club. On Saturday the 18th, there's a city marathon expo, a meet and greet with the 1984 athletes at Sylvester Park, downtown Olympia. And then, of course, on Sunday is the Capital City Marathon. And let me just say, we have a couple of stars in that. Monty has run over 100 marathons.
800.
Dang.
Over 800.
800?
Wow.
I thought I heard 100. How many have you run in?
117.
117. These two will be running in that marathon and outstanding. And what citizens of Lacey, and they like history. Are we lucky or what? It is tremendous. So if you want more information, I'm gonna hand this out to the staff also. It says on the back how to get there, but there's also a Facebook. So if you Facebook Olympia Trials Legacy Committee, you'll get a much more detailed list of all the things, who was involved, etc. And some of the big names that'll be there, not only Joan Benoit Samuelson, but Julie Brown, who was the 1984 Women's Olympic Marathon Trials team first runner-up. Sister Marion Irvine, who's 94. She was the oldest woman to compete in the trials. She was 54 at the time. Frank Shorter, for those of us who were alive and watched the 1972 Olympic gold medal. He won that, and he's going to be here. And Marilyn Bevins, the first Black woman to officially compete in the Boston Marathon, and the first Black woman to run a marathon in under 3 hours. And then Tony Reed, Executive Director of the National Black Marathoners Association. All these people will be here for that event. So again, I hope you'll all participate. Check it out. There's one other little go to the order here.
Sure. Well, that's right. You had it.
The 2024 South Sound Exceptional Woman Award from the Seroftons is Jennifer Burbidge from Lacey Parks Culture and Recreation. Congrats to Jennifer.
We'll pass that on to her.
And that's my report.
That's
Top that, kids, next time.
Well, I have nothing to top that with in my report. I'm just continuing to work on the Lacey Leader project. So I was telling Aaron, just went through a set of photos that Ken had shot of photos that they had at St. Martin's that went back into the early 1900s. And I think by the time I got done, we added an extra 90 names to the website that we have right now that lists different people who are in the photos. So, because there were names all over these things. So, at any rate, I suppose interestingly enough, a few people who had shared last names with people, some people I've worked with or known. So that was kind of interesting just from a sideline vantage point. That's all I have.
All right,
Yours?
I'm up. I also have a report. So obviously at the May 7th City Council meeting, Jim and I will be presenting the Ken Bosley Historian of the Year Award, and then I'll be giving the annual report. And then we'll also have the May is History Month proclamation read. And we would strongly encourage all commissioners to attend. It's a good show of support for the museum and the commission. So I'd appreciate everyone who can to come. I also wanted to share our latest history talk that was last week. Was amazing. It was one of the best ones that I've ever been to.
And I think the biggest turnout.
It wasn't the biggest turnout, but it was I looked because I was like, but since COVID, it's the biggest one we've had since COVID. Because in addition to having a full house here, we also had just as many people online.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's great.
So it was, close to 100. We had one in COVID that was, I think, 200. Yeah, that was the Squaxin Island one. Anyway, it was Lynn Grotsky and Lisa Brodoff, who are a lesbian couple who, when they had their daughter Evan, realized that, the woman who was not the natural mother was not going to have any rights for her child should something happen to the woman who carried the child. And so one of them being a lawyer, they decided to go forward with, their adoption and trying to get that taken care of. And it actually got moved from Thurston County because she worked with all of the judges here. And so they recused themselves and it got moved to Pierce County with a much more conservative judge. And they were worried, but the story is the first time they'd really shared their whole story. And it was just amazing. I was watching from home and I was crying, and I could hear all the whoops and the hollers, and it was just great. So all that to say that if you're not coming to these, you're missing out, and do catch it on the YouTube if you couldn't make it. I also wanted to share that Fulton, who is our intern on the oral history project, has been hired as the recreation coordinator for the special events and marketing. of the Parks and Rec Department. So he is gonna be transitioning. We've worked out a compromise where he's still gonna be able to work on the oral history project. But he'll be in his new job. So we're really thrilled for Fulton that he's gonna be a permanent part of our Parks family. So we're really proud of him and glad we get to keep him on. Speaking of the oral history project, Fulton and Felicia have been, they're in the throes, shall we say, of interviewing. Their calendars are full of interviews, so I look forward to seeing those when they're done. So that project is going on very well. Felicia and Olivia have been very busy doing some refreshing of the museum itself inside. We have repainted. It's a lovely green with 2 different wall colors. And we removed the board things that were on the wall, and they're putting in they got a new case, and they're putting in a new exhibit on entertainment. And so if you get a chance, it'd be great to stop by and see what they've been doing. They put some blinds up. It looks really nice in there, and we're just trying to make these steps. We're planning an exhibit that will open in a big exhibit, the whole front room, that will open, we hope, in the first quarter of 2025. And we're doing the research now, and we got plans to put like part of a plane in the building. It's gonna be cool. Anyway, I don't wanna talk it up too much, but we've got a lot of plans. So we're trying to slowly build up our program so that when we move into the new museum, we're ready to go. Great, I think that's all I have for the museum report.
And in your role as Jen.
Let me put on my Jen hat, the exceptional woman hat. Jen shares that the rack kiosk concrete work began on Monday. The kiosk frame will begin being constructed on site the second week of May during the week. So that's an update on that. And then another update. So we recently had some events during the public comment portion of a Commission on Equity meeting. And so effective immediately for public comments made virtually, including phone-in, there is a 2-hour in advance of the meeting pre-registration requirement. There is no 2-hour limit to attend the meeting virtually. People can still register in real time to attend. They just have to register in advance if they want to comment online. And in addition, city staff is working on policy updates for public comment in the near future to manage that a little bit better. And a historical commission policy update is already on our 2024 work plan. But if commissioners have any questions about those recent events, I would recommend that you view the meeting, the Commission on Equity meeting where that happened, and the message from the city that's in the beginning of that meeting online. That is all of her report.
Okay. So, don't believe we have any other items on the agenda. So at this stage of the game, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
How much into adjourn? Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Bye.
Any opposed? We are officially adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you.
And we'll see you in May. We've got a couple of things. We've got the presentation on May 7th, the Historic Commission meeting on the 15th.